Hi everyone, this is also for 17 here, and let me first, like usual, this is a non-pay video, and I don't want its picture. Alright, okay. So, people want to keep on asking this for a part 2. More than I can see of the Ghost Rider and Daredevil one. Those are going to be good, coming out. So, I'm going to make this. I know I am very late. I was going to work on it last night, but then I passed out. I do apologize. But, it happens. Anyways, just want to give you something, a little bit of a heads up in this. Ink and gaster is going to be in it. Reasons why, I saw a video of it, and it's just like, Yeah, I have heard, like, some gasters, did destroy some the worlds and try to play God and all that. So I thought, hey, why not have gaster, ink, meet Asta, and Ink, fights Asta because of original Sans somehow came into this world and, came into Asta's world where he wasn't supposed to, and he's trying to fight to get, Sans' soul back. And Gaster thinks he can help with the override, which, yeah, you'll see what happens. I think I remember what I let him learn. I do remember the term manipulation, error, teaching Asta how to, make strings, magic, basically, and, yeah, a lot of other stuff like the Reaper. I'm gonna have to pause the video before I make, start up, but anyways, someone suggested I should be able to, like, let Asta take the anti-magic demon soul and merge it with his. And you know what? If I do, that means he'll have determination, hatred, and a monster soul. So, it'll be like, he is the anti-magic demon himself now then. So I think, so is Sans, but is an anti-magic demon. Now, Asta is Sans, that is an anti-magic demon. Love it. So, yeah. And that's gonna happen before the whole time Magic Night exam. Alright? Okay, before we get in, I'm gonna have to look back into the video and make sure I got the powers right where I think I gave him. That he learned from. Okay? Give me a minute. Alright, I'm back. Yeah, I already explained that, and in this part he's gonna meet Ink and cross Gaster. Because, like I said in that video, I'm kind of making him, in my first video, I'm kind of making him a villain, kind of, because of the video I watched about him. And it's going to go with Asta's personality, basically, from the canon, like how he doesn't like when people treat others, like, wrongly, and it's just going to be like, yeah. So, yeah, also, it's during the 10 months, he's gonna meet Cross, Gaster, and Ink, and back against the wall, and yeah, anti-magic is gonna be a part of his life now. Basically, he'll talk to the demon, the anti-magic demon. Like, he'll be able to talk to Sans within his subconscious, but basically that'll just be Asta now. But the thing is, he kind of won't he won't get the horns, but his gaster blasters will get, the horns and everything, and also just be able to emit actual anti-magic. Every time though, he actually will, like, transform into basically the cannon form, like the anti-magic, black form. It'll actually just be like his actual demon form, basically. But it'll look like a version of Sans. It'll be the anti-magic demon form mixed with Sans a bit. Sans look, so yeah. That's a that's kind of a working. That's an idea that came up to me for a couple of days. Well, last night, and that's not 100%. Sure in this what if. You guys can say your ideas on that if you like that or not. So, anyways, sorry for me rambling on. Anyways, this is what if Asta got. Hold on, I almost forgot the title. I actually did forget the title. Give me a minute. This is what if Asta got Sans' powers. Had Sans' powers. Part 2. Okay. So, when and Asta get back to the church, everyone is basically asking, like, did he get a grimoire and all? And they see that, he got a 4-leaf grimoire. And Asta, they say, Asta, we understand if you don't have one, but, I mean, it's the only way how you can. And then Asta pulls out a grimoire, and they see it's all old and stuff. And then they go, like, what does it do? Like, what spells can you use? Can you, like, summon out those blasters, you call them, and, your other types of magic and stuff? And Asta just says, okay, that's it. Hold my grimoire. As he gives him the grimoire. As goes, but also I go, okay, first off, guys, allow me to explain this. Seriously, this doesn't require a grimoire. This magic is basically soul magic. It doesn't require grimoire magic. As basically he summons out the gaster blasters, and then the grimoire isn't open. I'm saying the name weirdly, I know. Grimoire. So, as they basically, Asta sees like a top of a mountain, and he basically aims for it with basically a finger, as in he just like pretends like he shoots it when he says fire, and the gaster blaster hits it, and it blew off the top of the mountain. As he goes, can anyone else magic do that? No? Okay. Because he has both eyes, like the blue and orange, and then the red eye activated. And he's just basically saying, see, that's my power. That's my magic. None of you guys can understand because it's not the same type of magic that you guys produce. It's different, I know. It's hard to understand, but grimoires are not required, so how do you think? I got this grimoire? I don't know. It shouldn't have even come to me. It's impossible. I am magicless, and it doesn't matter. I can still become a magic knight because of my different magic. As in, Asa basically just hops onto his, gaster blaster and says, if you guys excuse me, I'm gonna go train and take a nap first. I'm tired. As basically he just rides the gaster blaster, and just everyone is just in shock. I think I made him new. But he's just saying to himself, they really thought it was a magic that required a grimoire, but still, whatever. So yeah. So when Asa gets to his training ground, he says, okay, first off, let me try to figure out about this grimoire. So basically, he kind of just looks at it. He examines it very carefully, saying it's old. It's basically, you can't tell if there's even a clover on it, but there's a 5-leaf clover. As then he thinks, didn't I read something about the grimoires and the status of them? 1 is the weakest, 4 is the strongest, and only given to nobility and special people. And then 5-leaf demon. So then he just brings up the at the black soul. He sees that there's a soul in it, and I think I did have it there was a black soul. He goes, soul of hatred. He said, he goes okay, soul of hatred. Why is a demon so hateful? Hateful of humanity? Hateful of a person? What? Okay. Maybe I can communicate with it. As basically when Asta touches it, you know, he starts hearing the voice of the anti-magic demon. And he actually can see it. He can literally see the anti-magic demon, but not the face of it, just like, that where he will be in the mindscape, and that's how we'll see the anti-magic demon, basically. As he goes, "You got some pretty impressive magic, kid. It's weird, but unique." As he goes, "Who are you?" He goes, "My name doesn't matter. All that matters is this. You use my power. And make your reality a dream. Well, make your dream a reality." And then he says, "Well, I got magic." And he goes, "Yes. And I can already tell. The anti-magic. My anti-magic will not affect you or kill you." He goes, "Wait, anti-magic?" The demon says yes, as he tells us to sit down, as he'll give him a explanation of it, as he says, it's a magic that can dispel or destroy other people's magics. By destroy, he means by any magical attack that's coming at you. Not literally destroy it. As he says, "Okay, I understand that." But then he asks, "Why are you so hateful?" As basically, he also understands a soul is basically, when it's black, is hateful towards its own kind. No, wait, no, I don't think that. It just says it's hateful of something. As basically says he hates his own kind for what they did to him. As he basically asked, can you elaborate for me so I get a better understanding?" And basically he then says, "It's because of my life. I was the lowest member. I was one of the lowest member of demons. Even though to you humans my magic is strong, to them it's not. Heck, I can even kill my own kind with my magic." As Asta eyes widen, he goes, "You can kill them?" He goes, "Yes, but they exiled me. They, stripped me of my name. Took everything away from me. Even my own family did. So, I ended up hating my own kind. Is that a problem, kid?" I also just kind of thinks about it and says, "No, but I just have one question." As the anti-magic says, "Yeah, what? How, this anti-magic has a physical form. Since, it's a grimoire and all, would it be like a fireball or water or lightning or, basically dark magic or something?" Just asking just questions that is understandable. As he just laughs. He goes, "No, it's a sword. A very heavy sword. No one else could wield it. I thought no one actually could. But you have the strength to wield it, kid. I can tell just by looking at you." And then Asta's, kind of the same size that he was in canon. A little, less buff, a little more. But, whatever, I'm not explaining much of it, just saying, he can wield it, doesn't matter, as he says, "Alright." Also, just let you know, as he, brings out his own soul, it just says, "My soul is a monster and a human soul mixed together." And he goes, "Tell me." As the anti-magic demon is very curious about this, he goes, "Alright, tell me about it." So he tells him about Sans, and, he makes a bad pun about it, like this, and it was a sensational moment. Sensational. As the anti-magic demon says, am I gonna have to hear those crappy puns?" And he goes, "Yeah, it's one of those things Sans said I was gonna get a habit of. Also being lazy, which I am 50%, I am only 10% of the time." And he goes, "Okay, what's the other thing? What's the other, benefit he said you were gonna have?" "It's magic and a whole entire list of puns." As even the anti-magic demon says, That sounds like a freaking death sentence. As Asta looks at him and goes like, turns out they actually are kind of funny. A few of them. But I just need the right material to say it. And he goes, oh god. Okay. So, basically, is it like you can... So basically it just says, okay, so if you take the soul of hatred, well, my soul, into your own soul, what would it be like? As Asta's soul is basically a white heart, you know, and then like a red heart in the middle of that. Then he says it'll be like a black heart in the middle of the red heart. As he goes, huh. So, well, if I don't want you to die at all, I'll consider, you know, letting that happen. And it can only be for like a brief moment. I don't plan to be stuck with you forever. As Asta says, it might be permanent. I don't know. As he goes, so I have to be careful of my timing. And he goes, yeah, pretty much. As he just says, fine. You know, to that. And the anti-magic demon is only thinking, maybe I can take over his body that way then, and have myself a human host. Well, he ain't human exactly, but he'll do. So yeah, he thinks that. So after Asa leaves the mindscape, the grimoire opens up as a sword appears. As basically he just grabs it, and then he starts training with it. He meets the magic swordsman, that was from the Diamond Kingdom, and he trains Asta a little bit in the swordsmanship, and he's been pretty impressed with Asta because he learned very quickly, only a matter of in like an hour or so. He's got quite skilled in it somehow, and then the Diamond Mages come out of nowhere. They try to attack him, but then Asta just used basically his blue magic and chains, as he just tells them, if you even try to move, those chains will hurt you a lot. All the basically the evil that you have never done, basically killed someone or something even worse, will come back at you and hurt you, and maybe even kill you. I ain't never got that far, but hey, there's only one way to test it out. That's basically they don't even move. So he just tells them he'll release the chains, but all you guys will have to leave now before he decides to give them a bad time. As basically he summons out the gaster blasters and the eyes are glowing. As basically goes like, what do you mean by that? He goes, well, it's obvious. You'll just have a bad time. That's it. So yeah, as that happens, they know he's serious. So they say, alright, we'll listen to you. As basically he releases the chains as they run off. As then, the guy is saying, that's some weird magic, kid. The magic swordsman. And he just says, yeah, trust me, don't ask about it. It's way too complicated. He goes, really, how complicated? And then he says, if I had to give you a report on it, it'll be about 20 pages long, front to back. As he goes, wow, that long? Including with this, and that's only with the scientific the science behind it too. There's a whole bunch of more, let's just say, components that you need to know about it before even understanding it. As he says, okay, duly noted, don't ask. Oh, see ya, Asta. And because Asta, did tell him his name, he just says he's Asta Skeleton. He just going by that because it's, a reminder of Sand, so. Plus has the hoodie. So yeah. So, sorry, stretching. So yeah, after about, I think it was 10 months, or about 10 to maybe 9. Let's say it's 9 months. that he needs to train for before the Magic Knight exam. So during the 5th month, Ever comes and visits him. And he's been camping out at the demon's grave, the demon bones and head and everything, as has come by and trained with him and everything else, just to see how he's doing. And he has never revealed the Grimoire power, his anti-magic power. So yeah, but he has told about it. He just doesn't believe it, but he says he wants to keep his secret for now at least. And he goes, all right, I understand that. So yeah. So when Error comes and visit Asta, he goes, "Yo, Asta, how are ya?" As basically he shows him Grimoire, and Error is very shocked. And then a few minutes later, Dream comes in. As Dream says hello, as he sees Error just freaking out over how Asta got Grimoire, and as he's saying, "That's so cool." Also, why is it 5 leaf? As Asta, basically, when Dream came in, Error said that, as then Asta explained the difference between 1 leaf, 2 leaf, 3 leaf, and 4 leaf. And then he says he read also something about a 5 leaf Grimoire that is a representative, a representation of a demon. Basically, it means a demon lives inside of there. As he already talked to it, he kind of chats with it once in a while to get to know it better. So, it's better off to have good communication with it before, while you're working with him and lending his power to me. So, I gotta do something. I can't let him be all there by himself. Also, I tell him my puns. He hates them. Sometimes I do too, but hey, it's still funny. As Error just says, original really did have some funny puns, and then there was some that was off, but hey, whatever, right? To each his own. He goes, yep. And Dream finally tunes in and says, "A demon? What's a demon?" As Asta just says, "Oh, basically, a creature that has horns and wings and is evil." That's the best description he can give it. I think there's really no information on demons, actually. That's the only way he could ever come up with. And besides, after facing that kid, as Dream ever had their own versions, knew their own versions of Chara and Frisk. Says that kid makes them look like, well, not even pushovers, just more of a. Well, actually, it's them that makes the kid look like a pushover. But they didn't have determination, so yeah. But then Asta says, "So Error, did you come by just to visit me, or did you came by to tell me something?" As then Error says, "Oh yeah, I heard a rumor that Ink's been looking for the original Sans, so he may find out that he came into another dimension. He finds out that I even gave up on actually destroying other AUs and glitches, and he wondered why. I didn't tell him anything. He even tried to fight me for it. He couldn't even beat me. Heck, even I started protecting the AUs, and he's wondering why. And I mean every AU. And as he says, there's so many different ones. There's even some that are just carbon copies, just a little bit different but the exact same. As then I told him what you told me. It doesn't matter. They're all different. They're all unique. Just because something is a carbon copy look alike doesn't mean it doesn't have its own value. If you're willing to let these things, if you're willing to let these other AUs that are exactly the same as maybe, I don't know, say Underfell. There's another version out there of it, and you let Underfell die but let that one live. That's not right. So, just maybe, I'm willing to protect it all from you." As Ink did get pissed at me, he said, as he just starts laughing. And it was so easy. But I did have to, try to hide from him for a little bit because of that crost gaster. Jerk. As Asta remembers it, he goes, yeah, he killed Fell, and as basically he says, swap tails. It says where that version of Sans is actually Papyrus. is like a papyrus. So, as basically, Eric says, yeah, but that was like weeks before I even came here. He gave up looking for me, not cross gaster. So, Asta, be warned. If they figure out I'm coming here, just be careful, alright? As then Asta says, there is no code here. There's no HP, no LV, no XP. As then his eyes both go open and one, the eyes red and the eyes, they're just glowing really bright. As he says, what can they do, even with that override switch of theirs? It doesn't work, it won't really work well in here. In my world. As Era says, yeah. And then, just one thing. Kill the cross gaster jerk for me. Will ya? As he just says, sure I will. I'll make sure there's no dust of him. As Era just says, good. Now if you excuse me, I'm gonna go. Ink's probably gonna try to go to an AU and try to protect it, but really mess it up somehow in some way. Why is that cleaning up his messes? And then Arrow walks away and disappears. Dream, is kind of a little bit freaked out by that because of of what Arrow said, but a little freaked out, but not really. Sorry, everyone. Yawn. But, yeah. So, Dream asks Asta about Ink. He just says, Asta just looks at him and says, easy. I'm not gonna hurt him. I'm just gonna keep him chained up, at least. Besides, the karma effect. It'll drain that 1 HP. Pretty well, it'll drain hit. He'll probably almost kill him. Since he does let other AUs die that are just carbon copies. Or the real deal. It just doesn't matter to him, I think. So, got any? You need to tell me something, Dream? As he just says, no, I just want to come by and see how you're doing. But it looks like you're doing pretty good. As just then, Asta said, kind of feels something. An uneasy feeling. He has like somebody's watching him right now. As he just says, Dream, feel. No, he doesn't say anything, Dream. He gives him a look. And Dream gives him a look like he's saying, got it. As then all of a sudden, Asta gets up. And then eyes, just start glowing as basically bones come out in multiple directions. As anything that was in the bushes nearby jumps out. As he says, hi there! As it's Ink. And Dream says, Ink? He goes, so, you followed error, huh? As he goes, yeah, pretty much. So, you're the one who has original and, a part of his soul. I'm gonna need him back. He needs to go back to Undertale. And then Asta just says this. Sans isn't going nowhere. Besides, I'm the one who lent him my determination to beat Kid. So, he wanted to repay me somehow in some way. And then Ink just says, "Aw, that's so nice of him." And then Asta says, like you care. You're heartless. You have no soul. As that kind of shocks, Ink a little. He goes like, how did you? He goes, it's easy to tell. Those eyes you don't lie for your eyes. Also, I pretty much remember everything Sans heard from you. When you said you have no soul, you don't care what happens to other AUs. They're always like another AU that's somewhat similar and a lot different than others. And all. So, What's the point in protecting everyone, just the ones that you like the most? If you see no use for it, you let it die, or you destroy it yourself. That's no way to have, to be a protector of all they use. As basically he's mocking how Inko says it. As that kind of makes him irritated a little. As then he says, alright, give me back Sans' soul, and I'll let you, well, not be dusted, kid. As he just says, come and take it if you want. Actually, no. If you take one more step, I only got one thing to ask you. As in his eyes go black, just like have no pupils, as he says, do you want to have a bad time? As Ink just takes a step forward, as he goes, well, I did ask you. I guess that's your answer. Sorry, Ink. But it looks like this is gonna be the end for you. As he just has one eye open. He has both eyes open, but just one eye is basically just what he thinks Sans is, he's just using Sans' power. Nothing else at this point. Like, not from right now, he's not gonna go with the other power. He's gonna sync Ink's abilities more. So, basically, Asta basically is fighting Ink. He's using multiple bone attacks. He's using a gaster blaster while Ink is basically using Ink, different magic abilities and all that. As Asta's just able to dodge, as Ink says, this kid is fast, but he's gonna run out of stamina real quick. As basically, that fight goes on for at least an hour. As Ink's saying, wait, how is he not tired yet? He goes, and basically Asta's basically right on top of like a rib cage that fell off of the bone. And he just says, what's wrong? You think I was gonna get tired? Please, Ink, you should know. This ain't what you call a normal reality. Look at the status, or should I say, your HP and all that. As Ink says, why do I need to? It's a fight. Besides, you just use that to basically one-shot me. As Asta says, one-shot you. As he's saying this to himself in his head, he goes, 1 HP doesn't even last in this world, because there is none 1 HP. Our life determines on by our heartbeat. So if your soul's, basically, since you don't have a soul, you technically will die if your bones get destroyed. That's the difference between you and me. I have a heart. As then multiple chains start to come out of the ground. Basically, he was pouring as they catch Ink, and he's going like, what the? Under Phil's chains, as he sees it's blue. He goes, how is it you? He goes, you could say I'm a Sans that is allowed to go to different AUs like any other Sans. But the only difference between me is, as his eyes basically red, is I got determination. And that allows me to use my magic in any way possible, including with my determination magic itself. Or should I say energy. You see, Ink, you can't kill me, because as then when he pulls out both hearts, and there's like no status or HP or anything, he goes, what, how? He goes, because this ain't a game. This ain't another like AU where it's based off of a video game with status and all that. As basically, this Sans found out about it because of, well, he found out before the reset and all, so yeah. That's how I'm making Asta be aware of it. Or I'm just making him be aware of it just in general, so. I think one is just Sans found out that there's like levels and like coding and all that to it, and it's just like a part of a game. So I think that sounds a lot better. So yeah. As Ink's thinking, what? No. Impossible. Then how are we able to use magic here then. Soul magic goes because just because you come here doesn't mean you don't lose your properties of your magic. You still have it. It's just that you don't get one shot. And then he puts one hand near his eye, as then he's pulling. He's just making the strings. And he goes, "That's Error's power. How did you?" He goes, "Oh, I learned it from him. Like I learned the chains from Underfell. Including my clothing from it too. Just modified it a little bit." As then, next thing you know, here's something coming through the air really fast. And so he just teleports out of the way, and then something hits the ground. As also is basically on top of another rib cage, or a bone. As he sees it was two hands, and he says, "So, you must be crost, gaster." And while he still has the strings, on his finger and everything, crost gaster says, "Yes. Now give us back the original sand, so we can take him back to his world. The balance there is very, very disrupted because of you." He goes, "It wasn't my doing. I wasn't the one who brought him here. I don't even know how he even got here. Neither does he. All he knows is that my determination, along with his, well, mine and his somehow was linked up. That was it. So, I don't think I really brought him here on my own. It was like his determination brought him here. So, yeah. You want to fight with me? Cross gaster." As he just smiles, he goes, "You do not have a choice, child." And when he brings out the override switch, he says, "I'm going to be taking that soul now." As basically, when he hits the override, nothing happens. He goes, "What? Why didn't it work?" He goes, as Asta just says, "Didn't you hear me talk to Ink about this?" As he has the smile, he's chuckling to himself. He goes, "Seriously, this isn't coding. This is actually a merge. You can't unfuse something that's permanent, even with an override switch. That doesn't even basically work. Because doesn't it only work for coding? As Ink and Crosscaster realize. As then he says, "Oh yeah." As basically he teleports, and he has the gaster blaster that he uses as a scythe. Basically, he puts the energy. He uses the energy in the gaster blaster and turns into a scythe. And he goes, "This is for Fell and Swap." And then he slashes, Crosscaster. As then he teleports again up in the air, as multiple gaster blasters are there. And he goes, "I would have said, would you want to have a bad time? But honestly, it doesn't matter. You're gone." Basically, he just fires all the gaster blasters at Crosscaster. He tries to use the override switch, but just to try to stop the gaster blasters, from firing. But it doesn't work. He doesn't understand why. He goes, "Impossible!" As basically he gets vaporized and turned, and basically not into dust. He just there's nothing left, not even dust. As Ink is shocked that Crosscaster died. As then Asta basically, floats down because he's using telekinesis. So when he lands, basically he just says, "Didn't I tell you this wasn't a game? There was no HP. When you die, you die. No resets. No. Continues." Like how one actual kiddo, as he says, as Ink realizing what he means, he goes, "Wait, you mean Frisk and Chara?" He goes, "Yeah, it seemed like Chara was in control. It was another one. It wasn't the same one. She didn't speak. She didn't care about me. Not from Sans' home. She tried to kill me. And when she tried, she couldn't, she didn't know my patterns very well. So when she died, she stayed dead. As basically, I can hear her soul saying, why can't she, come back to life? Why couldn't she reset? And basically, I just told her, because this ain't the world where you belong that allows it. Now leave. As I just touched her soul and sent her flying back to her own reality. As Ink says, and what? So you mean Gaster's gone? Well, he'll probably go back. He'll probably be dead, but he'll probably be back in his own world, his own version of Undertale. And you'll see him again. Maybe. I don't know. You have to go back there and see. Also, this override switch, as basically Asta uses telekinesis to pull it towards him, as Ink is kind of shocked. He goes, I did say it doesn't work for coding, but as Asta grabs Ink and he says, that doesn't mean I can't do something to you. As Ink, what are you gonna? He goes, easy. I'm gonna make you feel again. He goes, what? What are you talking about? He goes come on. You need to try to look for a soul, just something like a soul within you. But I'm not going to. So, as he presses the override switch, as Ink basically is screaming out in pain, as Dream saw everything, as he's wondering what is Asta doing. As then basically, because Ink did have a soul, but it was just empty, it was completely transparent. So then when Ink is huffing and puffing, he was I can feel. He goes, what? How? He goes, easy. As he crushes the override switch, breaking it, as it just is gone forever. He goes, I give you back your soul. I made sure you can feel something now. So, yeah. Also, leave my dimension and get out of here. He goes, wait, dimension? You cross dimension and realities altogether. You know that, right? And he goes, I did not know that. And he goes, just go. And basically Ink, says sorry for all the commotion and, leaves. As then Asta says, I may take a nap. As Dream says, alright. Bye. As basically Dream leaves and Asta sleeps. So 3 months after that was still that was after 5 months of training. 3 months after that, it's the 8th month. And Asta's pretty much gone pretty good with the anti-magic and all that. As then anti-magic demon has saying, hey kid. So, like the soul popped out and everything, he's talking to Asta. He goes, yeah? Anti-magic? Yeah, demon? He goes, let's merge souls. He goes, wait, what? He goes, you may have a lot of power then now. You have a lot of power then. Most people would not understand it, but your gaster plasters, along with your other magic, will have specific traits that no one else will have because of my power. And plus, I kind of am bored being inside of a book, so come on, why not? As Asta's just saying, I already know what you're gonna try to do. Try to take over my body. Try to use me as a host. As the demon's thinking, he figured it out. I didn't know he was this smart. But then Asta says, but even though I usually don't like to do things like this, because I'm really much of a lazy bones, as he just has a grin on his face, he goes, let's try it out. Let's see how much fun we can have. As he just, anti-magic demon just smiles and, just starts laughing. He goes, "You're one crazy, cocky kid, you know that?" As he goes, I'm just who I am. Nothing more, nothing less. Asta the skeleton. As basically, if you're also wondering how has Asta been surviving without going to the home and all that, he's been camping out, getting his own food and stuff. So yeah. So basically, he grabs the anti-magic demon's soul, and he starts focusing his soul magic into it as he starts, and a glowing light appears again. But this time it's a dark. It's not was like a bright light. It was like a darker color of a black light. So a black. It's like anti-magic, but shoot up like a light beam, like it did like for Asta with Sans. As then this time, Asta's not gonna be pass out. He's gonna open his eyes after a few minutes, and he checks his soul, as he sees it's Asta, his own. It's Sans' soul, Asta's soul, and then the anti-magic demon soul, all in one. As basically he's thinking to himself, wait, doesn't that mean I can't be able to talk to the anti-magic demon anymore? I won't be able to talk to the demon anymore? Ah! That's what he named the demon. He just calls him Demon. Or D for short. And then basically D says, "Hey, Asta, don't worry. I'm still here. Also, the Sans have a blue jacket. He looks like a skeleton. And basically likes to drink ketchup." As Asta says, "Yeah." He goes, "Why?" He goes, "He's here. And basically, he already told me a bad pun. Help me." He goes, "You wanted to murder me, so you suffer." He goes, "Ah!" As Sans says, "Hey, kiddo, what's up?" As he goes into his subconscious and he sees Sans. He goes, "Sans!" As he runs up and hugs him. He goes, "Hey there, kid. It's been a while." He goes, "Yeah, how have you been?" He goes, "Just being a lazy bones." As Asta laughs, he goes, "Yeah, you always were." So he says, "So, you got a new power, huh? Anti-magic. Pretty dangerous stuff, you know that, right? For this world, I mean." He goes, yeah. But hey, how'd you like me train with my determination and all that? I was able to learn different skills that you couldn't even learn." As he goes, "I'm very impressed. Also, you defeated Gaster and even gave Ink back his soul. Well, be able to make it feel again. Thanks for that. That was bugging me after a while." And he goes, "No problem," to Sans, Asta said. He goes, "Alright, I think that's enough training that you gotta do. Go and rest and study. You've been training a lot without reading books. You gotta keep that knowledge up, kid." And he goes, Alright. I guess I'll just hit the shelves then." As I don't know if that was a terrible pun. It was like I wanted to say hit the books, but that's just So I just said hit the shelves. I'm sorry. I'm not good at puns. I don't know how to make puns. Only with relish, ketchup, and other stuff. But yeah, Santa just says, pretty good. But seriously, get going, kid. As also, gets out of his subconscious as him and the anti-magic demon have a little chat. So, when the 9th month comes, Asta and are gonna be leaving to go to the the Clover Kingdom. As Asta says, "Oh, I have an easier way of doing that. Just hold on. Basically just ride on these." As basically he summons up 2 gaster blasters. As he notices they look a little bit different. They have a little extra horns on it. And they look a little bit more like they're instead of being all white, they have a little black and red pattern on them. And he goes, "That's pretty cool. I didn't know the anti-magic demon power would do this." Alright. As Asta, as says, "Asta, you sure about this?" He goes, "Yeah, I'm sure. Come on." And he goes, "Alright, I'm trusting you." He goes, "Hey, if you don't, we could just always walk. Or I could just teleport us there. Teleport us there." And he goes, wait, what? Yeah, it's a shortcut. As Yuno just says, whatever, let's just go. As everyone heard that, from the church, and says, he can teleport? No way. No way. But, whatever. They don't care no more. It's just Asta now, so, yeah. So they leave, they fly over, and it just takes a matter of hours. So, though, they stay in the capital for basically, well, they stay outside the capital, train a little bit more, until it's the day of the actual, entrance. So, they go into the kingdom, look around, and, just looking around to waste some time. As then Asta sees something very interesting. It's a shop. Basically, that has just like some items. As in, like, he sees like a heart necklace. As he asks, "Hey, sir," as the guy at the counter comes over and says, "Yes, yes, young man." He goes, "Where did you get this?" And he goes, "Oh, that was sold to me by a girl. I mean, she had a green outfit and clothing I'd never seen before, but it was a pretty well made, so I gave her some gold for it." He goes, "How much are you selling it for?" He goes, "Well, are you gonna become a magic knight?" He goes, "Yeah, I am." He goes, "Oh, then I'll give it to you for right now, and when you get money, you come and pay me back." He goes, "Okay. And you better not try to make me pay more than what you're gonna say right now, because if so, then I wouldn't recommend it." As he gets this cold chill down his spine, he goes, "I would never do that to you, sir," as he was actually gonna try to swindle out more money from Asta. He says, "Okay, so how much?" He goes, 25 gold coins. Should be good. I gave her about 30, so that's, half my profit. Most of my profit back." He goes, "Sure. Alright." As, basically, Asta says, "I'll remember, don't worry." As he basically puts on the necklace. With the lock, necklace that opens up, basically. Hold on, everyone. Alright, I'm back. So, yeah, asks Asta, "Why are you wearing that?" He goes, "I just thought it would look good on me. How does it look?" As he says, "It kind of makes you look weird." He goes, yeah, I know." As he goes, "Seriously, what did you buy?" He goes, "If I told you, you would never believe me. So, yeah, just drop it." As Asta, kind of like opens it up, and he sees the picture of Azriel and Shara. As he goes, "So she's here. How did she get here? Doesn't matter. Here's a day able to jump anyways to different worlds. Alright. I gotta keep an eye on this. I gotta look out for her when I'm a magic knight. She's a danger to the human race and monster kind." But as a little bit of anti-magic flow starts to come off of him, he goes, "I got a new power now." As that happens, he's walking along. Sorry, phone. I don't care. Just stupid notifications. But yeah, anyways. So when they get over to Magic Knight entrance, basically to get in, the person looks at his grimoire and says, "Sure, that's a grimoire?" He says, "Of course. Do I have to show you it or something?" As he goes, "No." And as he takes a closer look, and he sees the clovers, and he goes, "Oh, my apologies. Name Asta Skeleton." He goes, "Well, that's a weird name." He goes, "Yeah, I know. So what? We all have weird names here and there." And as the guy says, "True. Sorry for the trouble." He was like, "No problem. I mean, I probably could have just teleported right in without anyone noticing, but hey, I want to try to do it the legal way first." The legal way. As he goes, "Huh?" As basically Asta disappears and gets right into the stadium. As the guy says, what? As everyone saw that, the whole entire freak out with did happen. So I'm gonna say the magic birds can sense magic, and since Asta does have a big amount of magic on him, and they can sense his soul magic. They can sense almost any type of magic besides anti-magic, so yeah. So the birds don't go there besides Nero, and Asta's just technically sleeping while standing up. So he's not moving until the Magic Knight's exam happens. So they do the flying test. Asta just gets on a gaster blaster, just goes up pretty much with ease. Heck, even walks off of it and just uses telekinesis to float up and then walks back to it, and then comes right back down, which everyone's in shock. And then the fire test, the fire range, as basically he just puts a gaster blaster on his hand and just fires it, which blue, as basically now it's blue, red, and a little bit of a black beam, a red beam in the middle, and then in the red beam there's a black beam, so it's a little bit more powerful. As that happened, he creates multiple bones, as that's shocking to them, as he pretty much is doing pretty good. The Magic Knight captains don't know what's going on. They don't sense magic. They sense a little bit. They sense some type of magic, but it's not the magic that they're used to. It's an uneasy magic. It's not uneasy. It's a magic that they're not familiar with. They don't know what it is. So yeah, when it comes to the combat portion, he basically just says to Sans, and that's the magic demon, he's gonna just use the Slayer, the sword, and that's it. It's gonna be pretty much with ease, so I don't need to go all out. As Sans agrees. And so does the demon. Well, so does D. As basically, he's paired up with a guy, just because he thinks, he can beat Asta's magic easily. No. Let's make it a noble. Let's make it a noble, just a very high-ranking noble son. So high, the king is almost he's almost friends with the king. He's not there though. But the son is basically just a regular noble. As basically he says to Asta, he does recommend him on his magic, but he does say this to him. He says, your magic is very impressive, very different and unique. Nothing I've ever seen before. And I've read up on a lot about magic, of mages that have different types of magic. Yours is something else. But I'm sorry to tell you, you are gonna lose. I am royalty. Your magic is weaker than mine, you commoner. Tell your friends and family that you went up against a noble and you lasted a decent amount of time, because you will. And I am pretty much glad I will fight someone like you. Someone who has a unique type of magic. Maybe next year you'll get into the Magic Knights. As Asta is not really pissed off at him. He just says, oh? Really? He goes, yes, you'll lose. And Asta just has, I only have one question to ask you. As basically when he has his eyes closed, as Noble asks, what? As then he opens both of them, and there's some reason, and his red eye has a little bit with, it's red and black mixed together, and then he says, with his orange and blue glowing eye, basically he says, you want to have a bad time? Yeah, I'm gonna be saying that all the time. That's the catchphrase. Who cares? Besides his other catchphrase, as I'm not done yet. I'm not giving up yet. That's basically also. As the noble smiles, says, alright, let's do this then. Tell me your name, please. So that way I'm able to remember the person who I fought. He goes, the name's Asta. Asta skeleton. He goes, what? He goes, don't mind the last part. It's a reminder of somebody that I knew. He goes, oh, my apologies then. It must have been a good friend of yours. He goes, the guy saved my life, so I gotta give him some credit to remembering him. He goes, yes, you do. Alright then, let's do this. So, what happens is Asta gets out the anti-magic sword, and he just blitzes right through, as this guy has basically water magic, as Asta just slashes right through it, and then he just uses blue magic to pull the guy over to him, as then basically he just grabs the guy's face and slams him into the ground, knocking him out. As everyone's shocked by that, as Asta's declared the winner. So everyone does their thing, along with with the same guy that he fought, and in the end, like does get all the people raising up for him, and he goes to magic, the Golden Dawns. But for Asta, it is the Silver Eagles and the Black Bulls. Nozel said, for going to ask Nozel why he wanted Asta on his team, as basically he says, because his magic is unique and I'm interested in it, nothing more, nothing less. As then, that's all. As he says, as he's thinking about it, he's being smart. And plus, he says, the Black Bull seems like more of a fun choice to be with. They're more reckless. I don't have to worry about my magic going overboard then. So why not? As basically he picks the Black Bulls, as Noel just smiles and says, I figured you would. It seems like they're more of your type of crowd. And Asta looks and goes, what do you mean? As basically Noel comes down and walks up to Asta and just says in a cold tone voice, but with a little bit of a grin, he goes, because it seems like you have more magic abilities to you than what we've seen, and you're more worried about going all out if you have to. And since the Black Bulls are mostly reckless, it'll be a good fit for you. More potential to be added to you then, and more strength then too. So get stronger. I consider me wanting to see how strong you have gotten. Asta skeleton. As basically he walks up. He basically makes a silver eagle and goes back up and sits in his seat. And yeah. That's just where we're gonna end it off here. I know it's kind of like, it's a 1 hour thing already, so I'm gonna end it. I do hope you guys have a nice day and night, wherever you guys are watching this, and enjoy your day. Be safe. Alright. Bye everyone.